Now, Tyra and Dennis Liu of our Japan Bureau were able to talk to Filipino swimmers Remedy Rule and Gebbie and share their experience during the Tokyo Olympics. Watch this.
Good evening, everyone. This is Tyra Liu together with our
Dennis Liu.
Yes, so we are from Japan Bureau, and together we have very special guests for today. So we have Gebbie and Remedy Rule. So we will give them the floor to you so that they can introduce themselves. So guys, please.
Hi, I'm Remedy Rule, and I'm a swimmer representing the Philippines.
My name is Gebbie, and I'm much the same here in Tokyo.
Yes, and we'd like to know, is it your first time in Tokyo, in Japan?
Yes, for both of us.
Yeah.
And before this one, you've had the Southeast Asian Games, right? Both of you also represented the Philippines, is that right?
Yes.
Yes, that's great. But of course, before we go into the details of the sports, please tell us your stay in Japan, considering that we are under a state of pandemic. So how are you there, guys? Please tell us your condition, your situation. How are you treated?
Very comfortable. We're in the Olympic Village, and there's about 15 or so thousand athletes here, and it's very busy. There's a lot going on. We're well fed. They 24-hour food. There's services, whatever we want and need, and yeah, it's been amazing. But unfortunately, we're not allowed out of the village, so we haven't actually seen much of Japan at all.
Mm-hmm.
How about Remedy?
Oh yeah, I think Japan's been doing a great job. Like, I definitely feel safe here. People were wearing masks everywhere, and then we're getting tested daily. And then I guess as far as Japan locals, sometimes when we're riding the bus over to the pool, some of them have little signs up saying good luck or congrats, or just like waving. So definitely feeling the love from the host country.
And how are you guys with the summer heat in Japan? Sometimes summer here could get maybe hotter than the Philippines. How are you coping up with the weather?
Yeah, very well, thanks. And I think that's just because swimming is early in the morning and late at night, and the only time you really experience heat is walking to the bus.
Could you tell us more about the games, guys? So let's start with Luke, or
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, let's start with Luke.
Sure. More about the games.
Yeah, 50-meter dash, right? 50 meter.
Yeah, I did the 50 and the 100-meter freestyle. And the 50 freestyle was yesterday, and the 100-meter freestyle was on the 27th, and they both went well. In the 100, I broke my national record, and that was a very nice feeling. And then in the 50, it wasn't as fast as I wanted, but it was still a good swim, I think. It was still a lot of fun and a great way to end the meet.
Yeah, and he was a heat winner, so he got his face on the big screen. I competed in the 100 butterfly, and that was last Saturday, so a week ago now, and then also in the 200 butterfly on Tuesday and Wednesday, and I made semifinals in the 200 fly, so I got to swim again Wednesday morning. And yeah, it's been a total dream being able to compete at the elite level. And yeah.
Yes, in the Southeast Asian Games, of course, you have a lot of spectators and so many people. You could now compare it with the Tokyo Olympics, which has no spectators. Could you? How do you feel as athletes?
Yes.
Obviously, it's a bit sad that we didn't get the full Olympic experience, but I guess both of us had a job coming in, and that was to swim as fast as we could. So whether or not the crowd was full didn't really impact our performance, just maybe the experience part. But there were a lot of athletes in the stands at this games, and they were cheering still, and it kind of adds a little bit more pressure knowing that everyone in the stands knows exactly what you've been through and exactly what is a good time or not. So it was actually good in that way.
Yeah, and I think just going off of that, of course, we would love having spectators here, and also for the people of Japan who chose to host, it would be awesome if they could be there. But I think, yeah, both Luke and I have talked about, Japan could have just chosen to cancel the game. So I think just feeling very grateful that it ended up happening at all.
Could you tell us more about like how did you make it to the Tokyo Olympics? How you were chosen as a representative of the Philippines? Could you tell us briefly about that?
Yeah, sure. So in swimming, each race you can be awarded an amount of FINA points. So these are points that they use to standardize how a ranking of a swimmer, you can compare it to other events and other strokes. So the criteria for the Olympics is to make an Olympic selection time, which we both did in 2 events. And the Philippines sends the person with the highest FINA points for both male and female. And that's how we both did it. So throughout the year, we've been competing, trying to put as many points up as we can, the highest points that we could. And those were the key indicators for our position on this team.
So let's go to same with Remedy, right?
Yes,
Exactly.
that's the same.
I see.
Personal. So after this, what do you plan to do? Do you plan to train other swimmers? Do you plan to have your own school? These are what other athletes are planning considering the pandemic. So what about you guys? What do you plan to do when you go back to your home country after the Tokyo Olympics?
I'm actually enrolled in graduate school in the fall at the University of Miami in Florida. I'm going to do tropical marine ecosystem management, coral reef restoration and preservation. So I'll still be swimming just in the ocean. I would love to do some swim clinics in the Philippines sometime in the future, just to give back and, make, future swimmers coming in for the Olympics.
That's beautiful. What about Luke?
I work full time in the finance industry, so I'll be going back and, taking back from my nice little holiday that I've had now, just going straight back into my role. And I plan to, as well as doing that, I plan to spend some time with my friends. And, training takes up a lot of time and a lot of focus. And now I'm finding myself in a position where I can say, yes, I'll stay up later than 9 p.m. or yes, I'll see my friend on the weekend. So I think I'll be doing a lot of that and trying to see my family.
Yes, and
Yeah.
we will, because they have already built a good number of followers, and being able to represent the Philippines, of course, and not just Philippines, of course your home country as well. So you were able to build a number of fans. So what would be your message to the Filipino people, to your followers, to your fans?
I feel like just find what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel passionate, and then put time and effort into it, because I think it can yield some amazing experiences. And swimming has brought me to many cool places, but it's also just the amazing people I've got to meet. And whatever the future holds for me swimming wise, definitely planning on staying friends with my swimmer people.
So you've met a lot of friends here in Tokyo too, right?
Yeah. That's what the Olympics are about. Everybody coming together, seeking greatness together, and trying to elevate each other at the pinnacle of sport.
What about Luke?
Pretty similar. And I think I would encourage a lot of people back home in the Philippines to watch the games, watch the replays, and just be inspired and try and find passion themselves. But also the team here has done amazing up to this point. All the athletes have done really well. And if you can take a little bit of inspiration and use that passion and channel it into anything, young and old, anything you want, if you can channel that kind of passion into something, that would be a really great thing to take away from the game.
That is really beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so once again, we have Luke, Michael, Gebbie, and Remedy Rule. So right here from Tokyo, Japan, this is Tyra Lu.
And this is Dennis Lu.
For Eagle News, we live in interesting times.